Marcus Skenderian, and we're here in front of Morris Skenderian's office. Morris happens to be my father and also one of the most influential and important architects in this town. He's been here for over 50 years and nobody knows this town better. This is another video in a series of videos that we'd like to connect you with Laguna Beach and the people who make it so special. So we're here to interview my dad. So let's go meet Morris. Service. Here he is. This is Marcus Skenderian's dad, Todd's uncle, Morris Skenderian.
Well, come on down.
It's a family deal. We noticed your sign outside needed a little bit of work.
Yeah, we need you back.
Do you remember that?
Fix it. Sure.
Do you I remember getting that sign and
came on a piece
laying
of paper.
it. Yeah.
We had to stick it on the window.
Yeah. When did you come to Laguna? So you came in '68.
Yeah.
50 years ago.
50 years ago.
Right.
And so when you came here, how did you end up coming to Laguna?
Well, I had come here on occasion during high school.
Okay.
But more recently, I came here while we lived in Palm Springs. I came here to work for Joe Smas and help him with the stained glass at St. Teresa's. I said, no, I'm going to open up my own office. And with doing somebody's garage and a duplex and a bathroom and a kitchen, and I worked out of my bedroom and for a year or two, and then opened the office down across from where it's now Mozambique.
No.
So I moved over here, I think in '87 or so.
Yeah.
And this was a market that had burned.
The wine cellar? Or the...
Wine cellar. Dennis Overstreet owned it.
Yep.
So he gave it to me when it burned. He gave it to me for $1 a square foot and said, you fix it up and if you fix it up, I'll give it to you for $1. So we fixed it up and we stayed here, and I thought I'd never be able to fill 2,000 square feet. So then we filled it up and with guys because of the fire.
Yeah.
Fire came in 1993.
Yeah.
And I had 13 people in here working, drawing. We did 25 houses.
All at one time, basically?
Well, they strung out over a period of time, but yeah, I was either designing one and doing the working drawings for one and working with the insurance companies, doing the adjustment for the costs.
So going back to coming to Laguna, what was it that made you say, hey, I want to live in Laguna?
We rented for a short time in Corona del Mar, and then we had to buy something, and Newport Beach was too expensive. The further south we came, the cheaper it got. Not by a lot.
The slums of Laguna Beach. Way back when.
Laguna was so hard to get to. There was no 405 freeway.
Yeah.
You drove up the 133, 2 lanes, and it ended, and you continued on through orange groves.
Yeah.
And you got to the 5. But it was inexpensive and it was gorgeous. It was more natural. It was like Northern California, Carmel, cliffs, waves. So we thought, why not?
Laguna originally, when you got here, I'm certain it was probably in the peak of its hippie artists, and it remained that way for a while. And it sort of prided itself as this little art colony and by the sea. But then it feels like it transitioned into more of a grown-up, sophisticated destination place where people wanted to come to, not just vacation, to live somewhere around the fires.
After the fires, when people rebuilt their houses,
Yeah.
they didn't build back the little cottages that got burned down.
Yeah.
They built a skyline.
Yeah.
All the kind of monster stucco houses. So then that really restored the market for that area. I mean, that used to be an area that you lived in because you couldn't afford to live down here. But you had to drive all the way up there, top of the world, horrible, you know.
Well, I remember when that was going on because we were building some of those homes at the time.
Right.
And Skyline was kind of a showroom for people in the middle of building their homes.
We had our reputation established,
Yeah.
and as a result of that reputation, we had 75 people come to us. And I remember I gave a seminar to all these people, and it was to people who had never built before. They didn't know what an architect did.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I need an architect? What can I? So, and of the 75, we took on 25 of them and then referred them to other people. But yeah, my name kept coming up. Oh, you got to go see more. But we couldn't handle it all. It was crazy.
I remember as a kid, like in the News Post, or there was a cartoon of you, right? Do you remember that? Yeah, like in a trench coat, passing out permits. You know, it was like, hey, if you need something done, go to Skenderian, right?
This is the Pacific Edge Hotel. We're doing
Vacation Village.
the old Vacation Village.
Yeah.
Major renovation to that. We're not tearing any buildings down. We're adding a building in the parking lot, putting a swimming pool on top. And this is a project that goes before design review next Thursday night. Is Victoria Beach House. 4 years working on design, and the people across the street have been looking over this vacant lot for so many years. They think they're entitled to it.
And it's theirs, yeah.
And unfortunately, some of the board members agree.
Yeah.
I mean, they all know something's going to be built there, but he gets hammered, even though they all live in 4,000 square foot houses, 4 stories tall. They look over this empty lot. This guy's got a 1,400 square foot house, and he wants to expand it. So I think this is going to get approved.
Yeah.
I think we've made some major changes.
A couple of things that, you know, what are the things that you must talk to a ton of realtors? You know, people are calling you for advice or ideas. I know you've worked with Balzer over the years, and a bunch of these people who come to you as the, I mean, they come to you even more than they go to the city sometimes for interpretation of code and knowledge. And what are some of the things that realtors don't know or should be asking people before they get too far down the road in this stuff? I mean, people come to you, it seems like, when they have a problem and it's too late, and it's like, uh-oh, Morris, come bail me out.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Well, it's difficult because I'm not buying or selling something.
Yeah.
So there's a conflict there.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to sell their house and they want the realtor not to tell anybody everything and steer them away. And then you have a buyer who wants to know everything. And then you have the realtor who may not be knowledgeable, may be too knowledgeable, but he also doesn't want to scare away his client. You're buying or selling. So it's a fine line that you guys have to do, and for me as well, because I don't want to kill deals unnecessarily for people. But I have to tell them the truth. So if the truth is that when you buy this lot and you want to tear it down and you want to build a 3,500 square foot house that blocks everybody's views, it's never going to happen.
So some of the items that you see impacting Laguna in the next few years. For example, one of the things that came to mind that I've been hearing about for so long is the village entrance. And I remember working with you
We did one.
in 1992 or something, or 90 or something. And we were talking about the village entrance.
Well, it's been approved by the city, and there's some minor modifications being made to landscaping, but generally speaking, it's a glorified landscaped parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay? It has walkways, pathways. It's getting the sidewalk off the highway and putting it back into a meandering walkways through here and through here. We're going to refurbish the digester building and restore it.
Yeah.
And if I have my way, it'll become a cafe for people to hang out in.
Yeah.
Bicycle riders coming up and down the canyon, people waiting to go across the street to the playhouse or the pageant. And then just a whole landscape this edge, landscape all of this, tear these old metal buildings down. And everybody goes, well, how could you possibly spend $7 million? Well, you're tearing up all the asphalt.
Yeah.
You're getting rid of all the chain link fences. And it's really going to be a nice park, natural vegetation, wood rails, split rail fences, so more indigenous to what we're about. There's not going to be any big overhead thing that some people recommended and wanted. You know, they want to get their money's worth, put lights up there.
Yeah.
Like the Dana Point Bridge. Why don't we make a bridge across here? Well, then you got to have elevators and stairways and
then parking.
How many people use that bridge?
Yeah.
It's a glorified sign. So, you know, signage in Laguna is something that's downplayed.
Yeah.
We don't upplay it.
Yeah.
You can see the differences between Dana Point and Newport Beach.
Yeah,
and Laguna.
for sure.
Signage is
big billboards.
It feels like there's always hot buttons in Laguna, but today that seems like there's more than there typically is on the same plate.
And you depend on city government to handle all this stuff, and the city government's not prepared for it,
Yeah.
and they're not staffed for it. And this year is going to be a big year. A lot of stuff is going to be pressuring the city. I don't know. I mean, I think the homeless thing is important. It's not in a crisis mode. We don't have the answer in this town. We can't do it all. I mean, everybody's suffering from it.
Yeah.
So that everybody's got to come up with the state or the federal government or something has to come up with some solution. You know?
So when you say the city government, it's interesting because it feels like the city government over the past even 5 years probably has been in a transitional period where it feels like faces and names are changing down there monthly. You go down, it's new people at the counter all the time.
Right. And that's partially a management thing, but it's partially a budget thing. People are getting lured. Some of our best staff people have left because they've been offered jobs elsewhere for more money. And then the cost of living in Laguna, that, you know, people who rent, who can afford to rent in apartments, they're in Irvine.
Yeah.
And Costa Mesa. So they're going to work for Costa Mesa, City of Irvine, City of Newport, City of Santa Ana. They're not driving all the way to Laguna. And they're not going to live here in a studio for $2,000 a month. Affordable housing is, I don't mean poor affordable housing, I mean just average
regular
kids. You know, kids, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds.
What do you think out of all of that stuff that's going on, what do you think is the most critical to the long-term sustainability of the town?
Planning, town planning, city planning, projects, approvals, that if they're not done right, they're going to be severe impacts on the quality of life in this town. You mentioned Hotel Laguna. That's just one of a major project that's going to come to the city this year. And that's the development of everything from Hotel Laguna to Legion. That's one project. Another big project is everything from Cliff Drive to Jasmine, the entire block. Royal block.
Indian Territory, that whole thing, right?
Also. And it's not a remodel. It's a tear it down and build a behemoth building with two layers of underground parking. We're not involved. That's 200 more cars. And there are some cars there. It's 200 cars dumping on the Cliff Drive, Jasmine, or Coast Highway. Canyon, the same owner has multiple properties up in the canyon that he's bought. And he's going to do a big master plan, tear all that stuff down. So we're getting into the small town is starting to give away to the pressures of big development. And these are people who ostensibly have the heart of the town, you know, in their considerations, but not really. Not really when it comes to money. I mean, they're not doing it to make their town better. They're doing it to make their properties better and improve the return on their investment. And whatever that takes. If it takes condominiums, fine. Hotels are a real hot ticket item right now because hotel rates are up to the $400, $500, $600 range, including a ranch. Which is, I mean, a ranch was a major renovation that made a difference. A place that was falling apart and was going to get torn down by the Montage and rebuilt as a new hotel. didn't get to first base on the approval process. And then they came to us. My concern about the Coast Inn is what it represents. And what it represents is a overreach, an overdevelopment of a small piece of property for profit. And if it gets approved, and the rationale that's used for its approval will then be used by other properties to do the same thing. And once that snowballs, I think we have good problem. So I feel for the neighbors who will have to endure the wrath of that. What's it going to do to property values there? I don't know. If they're all VRBOs, they won't care. We've kind of given up on trying to park everybody.
Yeah.
So we're not parking anybody. We're not building parking garages. Yeah. We're so far behind on accommodating tourists. What's the point? The 2-lane highway can only handle so many cars.
Yeah.
So once they sit in traffic for an hour, they're going to give up. And if only a certain amount of them get to the highway, they have to turn left or turn right.
Yeah.
So, but then when you have a project that's going to build parking for 200 cars, those 200 cars are going to try to get to that building.
Yeah.
And that's Hotel Laguna de Legion.
Yeah.
That whole project's going to be,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is not part of the general plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Turn it around. Change it.
Well, cool.
Okay.
Hey, Dad. I know you're busy. Thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Seriously.
Anytime. Come back again.
I will, for sure.
I love you.
I love you too.